Today we'll be learning about writing equations from slope and points. I'm going to show you one way to do it. There is another way to do it using point-slope form, and if you've learned that and you feel comfortable with it, go ahead and do that. If you haven't, try this way and see if it's easier for you. Okay? So writing equations from slope and points. So there's steps to this. So the first thing is, if you need to, I need you to find slope. So on some of them you don't need to do that, and on some of them you do. And what I mean by find slope is you do y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay? You find slope. Alright, the second thing you do is you plug in y equals mx plus b and solve. Now this makes no sense to you right now, but it will in a little bit. So you plug into y equals mx plus b and you solve. Remember that this m is the slope and this y, or the b, is the y-intercept. Okay? And then the third thing you do is you write the equation. So we're going to start with the easier ones and then we'll move to the harder ones. But these are your steps, and I'm going to keep them to the side here to reference them. Alright? So you're going to see something like this. Write in the equation. So I actually need you to write this word problem. If you need to shorten it, that's fine, and not write every word. I'm okay with that, but I need you to write this. So pause if you need to. Write the equation of a line with a slope of 2 that goes through, this says 3, 10. So pause if you need to write it. Right now, I'm assuming that you've written it. Okay? So the first step is find slope. However, they already told me that the slope is 2. So I don't need to find slope. I have it. Then it says plug into y equals mx plus b. So I actually want you to write y equals mx plus b. Okay? And what I mean by plug in is, look, I have a slope here, and remember a point is x and y. That's the x value, that's the y value. So instead of y equals, well, y here is 10. So instead of y, I'm going to replace it with 10 equals. Remember, the m is the slope. So what's the slope here? And the slope is 2. And then I'm going to go ahead and put parentheses, and then it says x. Well, x is 3 plus the y-intercept. But they didn't tell me what the y-intercept is, so I just put plus. I write b again because they didn't tell me what it is. So what I mean, if you need to make a note, like this is, you plug in values. Okay, you just plug them in. And we have to solve it. So I'm going to draw my line here. I'm going to rewrite my 10. 2 times 3, remember side by side is multiplied. 2 times 3 is just 6, and then plus b. And then I need to solve for b. So if I'm b, I'm going to get rid of 6. The opposite of a positive 6 is negative 6. This should be familiar here. And then b equals 10 minus 6 is 4. Okay? Now a lot of people will stop here and say, sweet, I have my answer. But my question said to write the equation. And that's actually the third step. We write the equation. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to put y equals, what's my slope? And you'll remember the slope is 2. So 2x. And my y-intercept is a positive 4. So I put plus 4. And that is my equation. This is the answer. So let me just rephrase that again. I already had my slope. I plugged into y equals mx plus b, and I solved for b, and then I just wrote that into my answer, and that's it. Okay? So let's do one more like this, and then the next note video will show you the other ones. So pause if you need to write this down. What line has a slope of, that says negative 1/2, and passes through 6, 7? Okay? First step is find slope, but it already has the slope. My slope is negative 1/2. Then I plug into y equals mx plus b. So y equals mx plus b. Then I plug in the values. Remember, this is x and this is y. So my y is 7 equals, my slope is negative 1/2, and x is 6 plus b. Okay? I draw my line. I rewrite my 7. Now, either in your head or with a calculator, I don't have my calculator with me right now, but just negative 1/2 times 6, if you did that in the calculator, you'd get negative 3 plus b. And then I'm b, I need to get rid of negative 3. The opposite of a negative 3 is positive 3. So b is 7 plus 3 is just 10. Now remember, a lot of you are going to want to stop here, but that's wrong. You need to actually write the equation. So y equals, what's the slope? And it told me the slope is negative 1/2 x. And then the y-intercept is positive 10, so put plus 10. If it was negative 10, you'd put minus 10. And that's the equation. Okay? Make sure you watch the next video because it's going to show you how to do it when there's points and it doesn't give you the slope.